Graven Hill is the UK's largest self-build experiment.
This is like a new life form that is growing uncontrollably. It's a town without planning.
Here, plots of land are sold by Cherwell District Council to aspiring self-builders.
What a huge space. Wow.
It's caught the imagination of local authorities across the UK. It's happening in Glasgow, where Natasha Huq, my co-presenter, and I are following an exciting scheme near the city centre, where people have been allowed to build their dreams.
Wow. It's a world of wood.
And now, the city of York is piloting its own ambitious project.
The brickwork is really well done. It excites me.
Though the journey of self-build is often fraught with stress and difficulty.
Well, the wind's grabbed hold of it.
I have had to find an extra £10,000. They don't fit.
I'm rather cross. I'm boiling on the inside.
This week in York, we're following Jonathan, who's invented his own house building system, and he's experimenting with it on himself.
Is that one I put in?
Yeah.
What else can I screw up?
We're not inviting him again.
Jonathan used to work as an assistant to the world-famous artist Richard Wilson, who designed this sculpture, Slipstream, at Heathrow Airport in London.
It's an impressive piece of work, isn't it? You take in the sort of scale and the curves and, you know, the twist. There are millions of rivets. And the amount of sheets of material, aluminium and OSB.
OSB is oriented strand board or sterling board, and there are 400 sheets of it under the skin. It's a material Jonathan grew fascinated with. An everyday material that you notice all around you.
Its uses are all sorts, so like, you know, building hoardings or, you know, boarding up sort of abandoned buildings or shuttering. You know, it's used as a relatively cheap material that you can do whatever you want with.
Jonathan's invested his life savings inventing an experimental system which turns this stuff into structural blocks that you can build a house out of. On an industrial estate in Hull, he set up his own company to do it.
This is for your house?
Yeah.
Big boxes, basically.
Yeah, big structural boxes.
Made out of... There's no plywood there. It's all sterling board, isn't it? It's all rough rubbish.
Yeah, these are structural cassettes, so they've got the double skin of OSB.
And what is there in your background, in your life, then, that's led you here?
I've got a family history in manufacture, so it's a natural progression.
And your dad's an architect?
Yes, he is.
Built on these benches. These are all jigs. Are these different shapes you've produced?
These are the cassette parts.
Oh, in bays.
In the
Okay,
bays,
yeah, I'm with you. Yeah,
and
ready
you pull
to
them out,
together.
ready for assembly.
And then they're assembled here.
Yeah.
This one over here.
Yeah.
Single person lift.
Probably.
Can have a go. If you lift that end. Yes. Ah,
Yeah.
Yes, that is. That is. Do you know what? I could feel my back compressing lifting that. That's a two-person lift for somebody young.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And tell me, how many prototypes have you had to kind of work through?
We've been developing it over the years. We haven't gone 3-story before, and we haven't gone clear spanning to 7 meters before. So I've made it open plan on all 3 floors.
Nice.
Yeah.
And it's your home?
So I live in a quite small flat at the moment, so we're going from a 2-bedroom flat to a 3-story kind of open plan building is going to be, you know, I'm not going to know what to do with it.
Jonathan's home is for him and his son. To construct it, first a giant steel ladder will be built to support a wall of glazing that will overlook the garden. Then the boxes will arrive on site, ready-made in the factory to be bolted together by hand to form the walls and floors of the house, which will span a remarkable 7 meters unsupported. Inside, Jonathan will make use of the free-spanning floors to make an almost entirely open-plan house. On the ground floor, a small utility room and bathroom will be surrounded by a large U-shaped living space to contain kitchen, dining and living areas with a double-height void. Upstairs, there'll be room at the front of the house for 2 bedrooms, or maybe 1 large storage space. Jonathan hasn't decided yet. There's also a toilet and a mezzanine floating over the living room. On the second floor, there'll be 1 large ensuite bedroom to span the rear of the house, with space for 2 further bedrooms at the front. The rooftop will house a solar panel array and 3 roof lights, and the exterior of this experimental home coated in white render at the rear, with a rusty armour of Core 10 steel around the front half. Jonathan bought the land for £86,000, and he's got 250 grand to build his house. He's doing it here, at the pioneering self-built street in Lowfield Green in York, just a few miles from the city centre. The first thing to be delivered on site is the steel ladder for the back window.
Big day, crane's just turned up. The steel's arriving in 5 bits, comes off the flatbed. Should I just move them blocks and put a bit of wood on there?
Each section is carefully lowered onto the slab.
Right, watch fingers and toes, boys.
And then methodically bolted to the next section with dozens of fixings to hold this heavy steel jigsaw together. The ladder is then lifted into position. The steelworkers start to fix in the supports for it. But the frame isn't level yet.
We took a level there, 1895. It was lower that side. It was higher that side by 7 mil.
But the steelworkers have already started to get the steel stanchions or braces fixed in.
We've got all day to put these stanchions in. Why are we racing ahead to get the stanchions? Yeah.
No, I didn't get them on.
Do you not want to get it level first?
You can't just leave it here, you've got to have those on.
Yes, fine, but once it's level.
Where do you want to be now?
Yeah, that's
Carefully, Jonathan and his architectural designer, Caleb, make sure the steel is as plumb and true as the drawings.
That's perfect.
Perfect.
Leave it, get it screwed.
Don't get up at that.
I'm happy as all.
You happy with that?
Yeah.
3 hours later, it's up.
We've got the steel in, get all the levels right, get it fixed, so that's safe for the weekend. And then we're going to be back on Monday to start putting the cassettes in.
And on Monday, back in Hull, Jonathan's team are finishing off the last of the boxes for his house and adding them to the mountain already in here.
This is Jonathan's house.
All of it?
Yeah. So obviously you can see palletised. The cassettes are also numbered, so we palletise as a...
Oh, so here's a little
You see
picture.
little section there, yeah.
Drawn by you.
Drawn by me.
And this shows you in colour where these bits go in the building.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, I know when people do all this kind of stuff, they're meant to kind of stack the pallets and meant to load the pallets in reverse order. Mm-hmm. So like the first thing off the pallet is the first thing into the
first
ground.
thing, yeah.
Is that really the case? Does that
That is
happen?
the case, yeah.
Does it ever go wrong?
There's been times.
So Jonathan's team meticulously load the pallets onto the truck in order. Then, an hour and a half later, when they unload,
Carefully, fingers.
they get muddled up, as they don't have precise places agreed to set down the boxes.
Right, so, what was our plan?
All this stuff is still here.
Those we want. We don't want anything really high level.
These are here.
Let's get them.
We're doing this side first.
Yeah, we'll get...
Do you want to stick them
Yeah.
on there? All right.
Was he talking about these or was he talking about these? Few sort of trial and error because of the way that we're delivering things. So like everything's coming off the flatbed and then we're having to sort of rearrange it, get it onto the slab, and that's just taking a little bit longer.
It will do. This is one giant experiment. The first time Jonathan's ever attempted something this big and this daring with his system.
So you might think to spend money on unproven ideas, on experimenting with the building is silly. But you see, no developer's ever going to do that, are they? No developer is going to experiment with their customers. They're waiting for the self-builders to come along. The people who will use their own cash and their own faith and belief in an unproven idea or an interesting new piece of design or a fantastic piece of new technology. Are they fools or are they heroes? That's easy for me. I vote for hero.
In York, Jonathan has built up to the first floor with his innovative building system, which uses insulated boxes made only from sterling board. Today he's making the floor, the most technically challenging part of it all. So, I've found an appropriately technical means to explain it.
So I know you're wondering how Jonathan's system really works. Think of these little pink wafers, delicious as they are, as Jonathan's building blocks, his wooden insulated cassettes. Now, to build a wall, you just put them one on top of the other and then plate them together. But to build a floor, well, that's much more complicated. And what he does is he takes a number of them and he joins them together. But he joins them together to make a beam using lots and lots of bolts and nuts. I'm going to use cocktail sticks to represent a bolt. There we are. And that one goes like that, and that's made a beam, and then this one joins on, and lo and behold, you can see how the thing joins together. There we are. And there you have a beam. But what's clever about his system is that it isn't just connected along the lengths of each beam, and then the beams just positioned next to each other. No, those beams are bolted together in the other direction too, so that each box ends up being fixed that way and that way and that way. And the result of that is a floor of immense strength. It doesn't wobble and it doesn't sag. It's just this perfect, rigid thing. As a result of all those fixings, look, it's a floor and it works. And you can walk across it and it's so strong, you can even dance across it. Look.
Amazing. And today, I'm going to help Jonathan make it for real.
Oh. Hey, Jonathan.
Hi.
Hey. I'm really interested to see the thing go up because
We'll have a go.
Good, good.
Spin it round, back it out.
Laid end to end, the boxes now need to be bolted together.
How do you get access to bolt them?
Hands in.
Just hands in.
Hands
Fiddle
in,
around.
Fiddle
So
around.
it's done blind, a little bit like changing the rolls in for a camera assistant.
We need packers, don't we, and podgers.
Yes.
Packers and what? Podgers?
Podgers, yeah.
That's a podger.
That is a podger, yeah.
I've seen steelworkers use these. I never knew what they were for. You can only guess.
I'll give you a clue. Podgers slip through the holes between boxes to perfectly align them. Then comes the tricky bit, bolting the boxes together.
Everybody's just waiting for me to do something catastrophically badly.
Right.
It is challenging beyond belief to try and thread a nut onto a bolt without being able to look at it.
I've worked on car engine bays, often with tiny nuts and tiny bolts that you can hardly hold, that then fall deep into the bowels of the car. You thought, I f***ed this up, didn't you? But actually, I can do this.
Once threaded, the bolts just need ratcheting to tighten them.
Should we walk it back?
Yeah.
Okay.
Then it's time to lift this giant beam into place.
How many of these have you built, these floor beams, then?
The floor, it's the first one.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel like I'm making history with you then.
There's another 13 of these that have to go up to make up the first floor. It couldn't be more different to a conventional floor system. where joists or poured concrete take the load. Here, it's just the bolts and the box.
Good on the other side?
Yep, so a little bit more. Come on. Yep, that's good for me.
You're relying on the inherent strength of materials and the fixings as much between them in order to achieve this spread of load. So what happens when you put a grand piano on the first floor?
Grand piano, don't know, I'd have to check that.
So, I mean, this is great, but I just wonder at what point you've decided that it really does work. I mean, it's all well and good trusting the engineer's drawings, but you'll want proof, won't you?
Yeah, I think we're going to temporary prop it. The engineers are due a visit on site as well, so they can come and have a look. And then when we start to take the props out, once we get this full first floor in, then we'll see.
So you won't know till then.
Over the next 2 weeks, more beams are made, craned next to one another, and then propped with temporary supports. Before long, they're up to the second floor, using Jonathan's box system to build the walls up to the roof.
This is a... So it's got to be that way round?
Yeah.
For this, he's invented his own peg system from scratch.
So that's your peg, but most importantly, that notch is not at right angles. It's slightly open. So rather like a traditional oak peg, the more you tap it in, the tighter it locks the joint together.
Yeah.
I love this because this kind of de-skills the on-site work.
And then we put the nail plates over.
That's the one, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. The peg is doing all the work here, isn't it?
Yeah.
These plates further strengthen the walls, pulling the boxes together. It's a laborious task.
On average, each junction is held together with 2 to 3 pegs, stapled, wooden ones, and 5 plates. Each plate takes 10 screws. So each junction is 50 screws. There's plated both sides, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's 100 screws for every joint. They've got to figure out a faster system.
It's harder than it looks. The screws are quite fat and wobble around when you put them in. That's my excuse anyway.
Really messed that one up.
Thanks.
Yep, stand up.
Jonathan's system is taxing, no question. It demands real commitment to build with. That's written all over his workforce. Literally.
I have got a little block tattoo here.
That's just the word.
Just the word block.
Block, yeah. Are you completely covered?
Covered, yeah.
Everywhere?
Most places.
Not everywhere.
Well, I don't, yeah.
No, that's good. Good, no, good.
A lot of them are done myself.
You're joking?
No.
Well, you sit there, what do you do, bite on a leather strap and...
Yeah, bite a wooden spoon and just kind of...
Oh, I didn't realise it was that autobiographical.
My legs.
In the heat of the midday sun, the process of putting this box building up is arduous, physically and mentally. You've got to work out which way the boxes should go.
We're upside down there, so we need to...
Do we? Do we now? We do. We're upside down.
Then drill thousands of screws every hour. Until, finally, the walls are up.
Chiselling that panel, that's not good.
No, that's in the wrong way around.
Is that one I put in?
It is in around that area, yeah.
I can't quite believe.
We're not inviting him again. That's.
I'm not convinced. I think someone else put that box in. Minor slip-ups aside, At every turn, Jonathan's trying to improve the efficiency of his system. He's found it quicker to bolt the boxes together in the air rather than on the ground, as access is easier. He's thinking ahead wherever he can.
I'm just prepping the bolts for the roof. Put the nuts on, and then they're ready. It makes it sort of easier.
This is a house that tests the limits of the materials it's made from and the problem-solving skills of those building with it. To carry on making the roof, the team need to lift in a critical steel support beam. But the crane they booked to do it hasn't turned up. So Jonathan commandeers a passing telehandler.
He's just up and down, you know. We asked him if he minded helping, and it was a 10-minute lift, so it's quite good. Really, really lucky.
That's one way of looking at it.
Oh, so they're extending the telehandler to the sort of maximum it can go in order to take that piece of steel over the top of the scaffolding. The telehandler's complaining, as you can hear. And the most exciting thing is that there's no strap or rope tying the piece of steel to the telehandler. I find that slightly inexplicable.
In York, Jonathan's crane got delayed, so he had to improvise a solution to lift a heavy steel beam onto the roof by commandeering a passing telehandler.
He was at the extent of his reach. We got it up, and then we've sort of, you know, pulled it along, so it's worked.
Well, that's a relief. Jonathan's worked with a team of world-class engineers to develop his system. Today, one's come to site. He's only modelled it on computer, so this is the first time he's seen it.
It's bloody cool. Nothing quite beats seeing it in the physical, even when you have been looking at it digitally. It's kind of weird, it looks like the model.
For this house, we are trying to use OSB. What we're trying to say is you can build homes out of it, and you can actually achieve some pretty monumental spans that you normally would only be doing with steel and traditional deep floors out of joists or, you know, metal deck.
This is radical cutting-edge engineering. So is Jonathan's arrangement of spaces inside.
Proper open plan, isn't it?
Well, this space feels really good as open plan.
Walls in, mate. Ideally, you don't want everyone looking in at you while you're on the toilet, do you?
Soon, all Badir and Jonathan's hard work will be tested.
I'm looking forward to seeing it once all the props go.
2 months later, that moment comes to take out the props.
So when do these come out?
These can come out today. Yeah.
I can take this one out?
Yeah, have a go.
Yeah. You seem very sanguine about it.
I have trust in it, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you wake up at night then?
Obviously, this is the first time we've done a two-way spanning floor and roof beam system.
I mean, there's always that thing, isn't it, when you're using repeated components to making sure that they are all in.
Yeah.
And all tightened.
Yeah.
And that, because it's so easy to put them in, put in a load, finger tighten them, and then move on.
We did check this 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
So you see, like, where the marks are on the roof, that was the kind of 3rd check. As we did it, we were marking it with a marker pen to say that that had gone impact, ratchet, tight, sort of thing.
Right.
So...
That's good.
Yeah.
When you do that, of course, rather than there being a weak link, it's more that every joint aggregates all the others. It becomes a stronger thing as you go on. And how much spring is there in the floor when these are out?
I think there's
Is it noticeable?
We haven't tried it.
Oh, well. we'll find out.
Yeah. So if we went upstairs and had a jump around.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens.
OK. So, what's it like? You jump. How much do you weigh?
Enough.
It's interesting, when we both bounce, we kill each other's bounce. It's like being on a trampoline. But there is a little bit of a spring.
Yeah.
There's a bit of But I find that quite reassuring with timber, that there's like being on the bough of a tree,
Bit of movement.
And the floor gets even more rigid as the roof goes on, pulling the house together as one taut box. Jonathan, meanwhile, has some exciting news. A local school has commissioned him to build a classroom using his wooden box system.
Need to go in a bit more. We got a lot of interest, and I think we're finding our kind of place and where we fit. So we're not a big house builder. We can't compete with large volume, but really specialist kind of things. It seems to be, naturally heading towards.
Looks like it. Building this shape with boxes has to be rather difficult.
First 2 days were tricky, and we were scratching our heads as to how to set it all out, because obviously we're on that curve. But good progress on that, and we're hoping to be finished and sort of totally sealed by Friday.
End of the week, then you'll be done.
Yeah.
Although Jonathan is now away working most days, there are jobs on site that he simply doesn't want to miss, like the installation of his gargantuan windows.
2, 3.
Yeah, it's a big part of the budget. And, the big feature windows at the back and along the stairs, they're kind of, the big bits of glass.
Go for it.
So, yeah, high cost.
Thing is with glass, if you catch it on a bit of metal or the scaffolding, it can cause it to explode because it's tougher than glass. So we do have to be careful.
I'll keep going. Hold it there.
They need to take extra care. They've already had one accident in the morning.
Unfortunately, we had a couple of breakages. They were just loading it up at the workshop, and it nicked on the corner of the van, and they just went. So that's been ordered straight away. There'll be about £600 to replace, which, is a lot of money, but we will have to just go with that.
Down.
Down. Easy peasy.
Happily, there are no more breakages. In Jonathan's absence, the render has gone on. It's a relief to see it.
The dream I had while I was on holiday was that the render hadn't set, so it's all really sort of like soft. It was a little bit like apple crumble, but I think it was just a nightmare. A bit of anxiety that I wasn't here while it was happening, seeing the kind of process.
Worry is a price you have to pay when you take on a big building experiment like this. Jonathan can take comfort knowing that his house is actually part of a larger experiment here, where social, affordable and open market housing all mix together.
The thing is, you can't tell who lives where. On most housing schemes, what developers try and do is lump the social housing in one corner, in a sort of ghetto, or preferably even off-site, somewhere else entirely, in order to preserve the values of the open market housing. But here, no, this is a blind tenure scheme. This is progressive. This is the future. Mixing people of all tenure types, from social housing tenants right through to homeowners. And now, of course, just there, some self-builders too. Goodness me, how progressive. And you know, I cannot tell, truly, who lives where. And I bet you can't either.
It's called blind tenure, and the inspiration for it comes partly from a nearby model community, New Earswick, built in 1904 by Joseph Rowntree. A local councillor, Michael Jones, saw how it had worked here and took the idea to the new development at Lowfield Green.
The residents who moved into here, some of them were from the chocolate factory, some of them weren't. So you would have, doctors living next door to chocolate makers, next to packers, next to wires.
And so there was a big social welfare spirit here. There was a kind of driver here. It wasn't just about providing decent accommodation for people of the city. It was wider.
At the moment, we live in one of the most age and income segregated countries in Europe, and what he did was he created a community for all. Standing here, it feels very different. It feels like a very relaxing, pleasant place to be. And I think we're trying to create that at Lowfield through investment in good quality outside space, you know, good benches, good play equipment, generous green spaces, places to play.
In the spirit of Roundtree, Jonathan's playful project is now being clad in Core 10 steel, designed to rust. A suitably entertaining material for an innovative building.
It stands quite proud, you know. I was walking down that terrace there and it looks good.
I really like it in this stage where it's at, because it's kind of rusting unevenly. You see the drip patterns, and it's a process, so it's kind of going off, and you see that happening over time, and it'll change. So
like watching timber slowly silver, or you know, oak slowly grey, or you know, or brick actually take on a patina. Yeah, a lot of people spend a lot of time trying to make buildings look timeless, as though fixed in a moment. This is the opposite. This is an experimental building.
Yeah.
This is your trial. You can play with this.
Yeah.
Systems and experiments aside, though, ultimately this will be Jonathan's home for him and his son to inhabit and enjoy.
Are you able to put away the Jonathan, inventor, entrepreneur and builder, and imagine yourself as Jonathan living here?
Not yet. Maybe once all of this is covered up, as soon as the boarding goes on, you kind of start to feel how the rooms are going to look, you know, rather than it being carcassing and look like a building site.
Yeah. I like that staircase. It looks good in the Sterling board.
The method we've CNC'd it, it's the same principle as the cassettes.
Is this a kind of prototype?
Prototype, yeah.
I just think they're actually quite beautiful.
However, Jonathan has chosen to banish these system-built stairs from the inside of the house and replace them with something else.
I think we're going to go with 2 steel stringers and timber treads.
Okay. Oh, really? Not this? Is it a bit too bouncy?
It is bouncy. It wouldn't be bouncy with a back on it.
I know the building is a bit of it's a showcase for you, obviously, for the system. It's pushing the possibilities of the system. And therefore, I guess, occasionally there's a client who may want to come and look at it. So you're going to do, as 2 architects I knew once did with their straw bale house, you're going to build a little honesty panel.
What's see-through?
Well, yeah, because, I mean, from the outside, all you see is glass, render, Core 10. You know, what you don't see is the system.
Yeah. Probably not. I see enough of it, so it'd be good to get it kind of closed up.
Completely covered up.
Yeah.
Okay. I can now begin to see why you might not be interested in a Sterling board staircase.
Yeah.
It just reminds you of your job.
Yeah.
But he's not replacing them with just any old stairs. For this lover of the experimental, only the most extraordinary will do. In a factory just outside Hull, he's commissioned a high-tech laser-cut staircase with the treads cut by robot.
It's the future of engineering, I believe. Dynacell robotic press. It's designed for large quantities of batch work. Basically, you can run things through the night, return the next day, and it's all ready for you to ship out.
Efficient, but the machines haven't completely taken over yet. Only a certain number of treads can be cut by computer before they're welded by human. Jonathan and his son, meanwhile, are itching to move in.
Are these doors openable?
They are openable, but there will be a screen in front of here, so you can't open them and fall out.
Good. I'm really excited. I cannot wait till it's done so I can run around it and have fun in it.
They are tantalizingly close to finishing when the main contractor working on the main site moves on to landscaping the street, the area around the houses.
Access to the building is pretty tricky at the moment, which is a bit of an issue for us sort of completing in terms of, you know, getting the lorries there for the pumped in screed. It's close to 5 or 6 weeks while that work goes on.
That's a long time to be held back from working.
Building your own home is always going to be painful. It is always going to be an emotional journey. But building it at the mercy of somebody else, goodness me, that's when you enter another world of pain.
In York, there is a new shape on the street.
Amidst all the pointy roofs of the street, that is the one proper block-like building. Very appropriate given the build method.
Boxes and bolts have created this. Extraordinary. Jonathan's pushed his system to the limit, building higher and with wider spans than he's ever done before. I'm intrigued to see if he's showing that off inside. But I'm not meeting him today. Jonathan's unfortunately been taken to hospital. So I'm talking to the man responsible for designing it, Caleb.
Hey.
Hey.
How are you?
How's it going?
Yeah, who's this?
This is Cowboy.
Hello, Cowboy. And Jonathan, how is he?
Well, sadly, he's had to go for a little operation today, but...
Oh, man. Wow. Oh, what a shame. I wish him well.
I will.
You know, hope he makes a speedy recovery. It's looking really sharp.
It is, yeah. And I think, I mean, the contrast between the Corten and the render kind of...
Is good.
Is good, yeah.
Made better by the capping detail, which joins them both together.
The amp, yes. Yeah.
Runs around like a ribbon. I love that. It's good. I mean, it'll look like a big rusty block, won't it?
It will do, yeah. Yeah.
Like
That's
a
what I was going
giant,
for.
yeah, as though carved from steel.
And with a blue door.
I say it will look like a big rusty block because at the moment the front isn't finished. It is yet to be clad in the weathering steel.
Installing the actual Corten was quite an experimental role. And we've been kind of sending pieces back to the factory to be cut again.
Oh, really?
Bringing them back, measuring up, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then I guess we kind of just put a bit more focus onto the internals.
So, what sort of home has Jonathan's mechanical, highly technical system yielded inside?
Oh, that's magnificent.
A highly unusual one, the likes of which I've not seen before. It is yet to be fully finished, but the spaces are wonderful.
Do you know, it's a bit like coming into a commercial building.
It is, yeah. It's
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's big openings, big windows, big door, big floor plate.
Jonathan has spanned a remarkable 7 meters, unsupported, by joining his boxes together. It's created somewhere that feels more art gallery than home. An art gallery revving up for the start of an exhibition.
Well, it's not far off. You've even put some furniture in here, Caleb.
Just a little bit, just
for scale.
Just for scale, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And obviously very, very minimal at the moment.
Yeah. The stairs look terrific. Again, quite commercial.
Yeah.
You know, because of the steel frame.
Even the colouring, I think.
Yeah, and the colouring too. I like that very much.
And this is quite funny to see, actually, because this is a colour that me and Jonathan saw in Bristol on a building.
Yeah.
And he mentioned it, and then to the next one
Hey,
is, yeah.
here it is.
And I think this is when the colours kind of come into their own.
For sure. And in terms of the kind of emotional response, I mean, walking in now, standing here, how do you feel? I mean, how's it, you know, is it doing the right thing?
I mean, for me, yeah, I don't know, it's calming. It's calming to me.
That's nice.
You know, just like I said, the light.
Yeah.
And I know we're not fully there yet in terms of finishes, but there's something quite peaceful about it.
The almost monastic experience of standing in these great spaces removes any sense that you might be in an experimental build system. That's not to say, though, that the experimentation hasn't continued in other ways. On the first floor.
So this space up here on the mezzanine, this is exciting, there's no doubt, because any building that has a sort of broken section, in other words, where one floor kind of fluidly meets another through an open void like this, well, that's always going to be adventurous and unusual. And of course, it's a usable space. It's a room. But in a way, I think The really exciting aspect of this floor is this space here. There's the staircase. And this is much, much wider than your average landing or hallway. The space here, just stick a piece of furniture against the wall or over there. And what Caleb and Jonathan have realised between them is that by making these rooms a little bit smaller, pushing these walls back, this space no longer feels like a cramped circulation space, like a thread connecting the staircases, but instead feels fluidly at one with this area here. It's part of the wider room. I think that's really, really clever.
I do admire Jonathan and Caleb's boldness in trying out new things, wherever they can.
This is nice. See, I just like the way, as you come up the building, it gets light. It's light at the bottom.
Lighter.
But it gets lighter and lighter and lighter.
Yeah.
It's not enough just to build an experimental floor system with boxes. They've also covered it in concrete.
Do you know what? I've just realised. What's the depth of this?
This is only shallow, I believe. This is maybe 40 mil.
40 millimetres?
Yeah.
Not over underfloor, though.
No.
But it's 40 millimetres on top of your system,
Yeah.
the beams, adding more weight.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's a good ton, I guess, 40, roughly.
Yeah.
Probably across this floor. That's pushing it, isn't it? Tempting fate.
Might put a gym up here as well and see how.
Oh, of
far we
course.
can
Why
push
not
it,
just put a
that's
few great lumps of iron attached to metal bars, yeah, and then thump around on the floor just to see what happens.
Good to test with a few bits of furniture first. Jonathan's planning to have a sitting room up here to soak up the best views through that giant window.
Stare at that all day.
Love it.
It's a definite no TV needed. I was passionate about being led towards these openings.
Not just in the main space, but the rooms off as well.
So what is this a bedroom floor? Is that?
This is bedroom floor, yeah.
That's a nice bedroom.
It's a lovely bedroom, yeah.
And to wake up in the morning and have a lit view, but without sunlight coming in, that's nice. It's not the most private.
No, absolutely not.
You could almost apply a frosting to the lower,
Yeah.
because you get those films, you know, just to give you the privacy and still have the view out over the trees
option,
and the park. Generous spaces, Caleb, you know.
Yeah, I'm really proud about this one now, seeing it.
Yeah, because it's not just well built, it's also well designed and well made and finished. You know, the great pleasure coming here today is that for so long, this sort of architectural ambition of this building was second fiddle to its kind of kit process. And we were all excited about, you know, how it was put together rather than what it was going to be.
Yeah.
And now it is kind of rather special.
It's quite overwhelming now to see it as an actual house
good.
and not just a...
As its designer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a lot of effort put into the design of it. I know it's simple, but there was a lot of thought. And Jonathan was quite through with what he wanted, which made it a little bit easier to work with, but I feel like we have achieved that, what we set out to get.
Caleb and Jonathan have done a remarkable job. Crafting drama, delight and soothing space out of one humble material, oriented strand board.
I am very aware that any good piece of architecture should be well versed in the art of deceit. And I say that because any good building ought to look as though it isn't tied down to the ground to 300 tons of concrete with a load of steel hidden in the walls. It should appear instead to want to float away. That any good building should be defying the laws of nature. It should be saying, I'm here forever, I can defy time and the effects of the elements. It should also be defying the rules of chaos and order by offering somehow a seamless, effortless experience of fluidity and joy. Oh, and there's a fourth rule here, and that is any good building, I think, ought to not tell you that it's made out of kit system blocks. But you see, this doesn't say that at all, does it? I mean, I can't see a single bit of the building that looks compromised that tells you in a clunky way that somehow Jonathan's system has been at work here. No, his building, in the service of good architecture, seems absolutely effortless. And that system seems to have completely disappeared.
Next time we're in Glasgow, following Karen.
I love cabins, hidden cabins and forests.
Oh, the battery has died in the concrete mixer.
Feel like a lot of pressure.
And her neighbour, William.
I enjoy fixing houses. Where's my piece of wood?
Oh, is that?
You first, because you said it would be all right.
The UK is enjoying a self-build revolution.
Very cool. We could be on the top floor of the Chrysler building.
What started as an experiment at Graven Hill in Oxfordshire, where plots of land were sold to aspiring self-builders by the council,
Wow, what a great space.
has now caught the imagination of local authorities across the country. It's happening in York, where self-builders are being empowered to build the homes they want.
That's in the wrong way around.
Is that one I put in?
Yeah.
And in Scotland, Glasgow City Council are piloting their own remarkable scheme near the city centre.
Beautiful.
Which I'm following with my co-presenter, Natasha Huq.
Do you worry or do you just wing it?
Everything always goes to plan.
Here, the plucky self-builders are pushing themselves to their limits.
A wee bit tight to get finished before the light fades.
This time, in Glasgow, we're following Karen, an artist and shop owner, building an extraordinary crafted mountain hut in the middle of the city.
I feel like a lot of pressure because it's so massive and it's moving so quick and it's so much money.
And we're following William, who's building next door to her.
Very impressed. I mean, the guys don't loaf about. Make great TV.
In Glasgow, on this delicate strip of old industrial land, 6 self-built plots have been sold by the council as an exciting pilot scheme. The people taking part are those who live and work here. People like Karen.
I'm a designer. I have a design-led gift shop just in the West End. Couldn't believe it, that there was land just 10 minutes really from where my work is.
Karen's business is in town, but her house design is inspired by her passion, the outdoors.
My dad was a climber and we always got dragged up hills, and I love the fresh air, I love the views, and I love the feeling you get when you finish at the end of the day and you come home and you're kind of recharged.
What are you building? Was there a particular kind of architecture that inspired you?
I think a lot of the builds that you see in the islands in Scotland, a lot of the bothies, a lot of the wee tin sheds that you see, I feel quite strongly about not having too much stuff and keeping life simple.
I suppose the thing about being outdoors is that everything's kind of simplified.
Yeah.
You only need exactly what you need to get up to the top, your kind of flask and and your coat, and having that kind of simplicity, bringing that into your house and just only having what you need.
Yeah, uncomplicated spaces.
The plot cost £40,000, and with a budget of just 150 grand, Karen plans to build a compact bothy house, which will be snug and very well insulated. The frame will be of timber, built on site, and then insulated and enclosed with sheet timber boards. Externally, it'll be finished in black and grey, with a combination of corrugated metal cladding on the walls and zinc on the roof. Triple glazed windows will keep the building protected from the elements. Inside, an entrance will lead to an open-plan kitchen and living room with big sliding doors to the rear garden. There'll also be space for a utility room, cloakroom, and even bicycle storage. Upstairs, there'll be 2 bedrooms, one at each end of the house, with a bathroom and toilet in between. And overlooking the main bedroom will be a large mezzanine studio. For Karen to build her affordable 150 grand hut house, she's had to sell her home. She's been waiting 5 years to get started.
There was a lot of delays because we bought a service plot, and then we realised that the services hadn't actually been put in. I had a couple of architects that didn't work out.
So when you sold your flat, that must have been quite scary. You know, where did you move into after that?
I've rented, I've house sat, I've stayed with family. So I've kind of like moved about like a nomad. So it's been difficult not having your own space, not knowing how long you're going to be in that position for.
So it feels as if you're living out of a suitcase. I'm sure you unpacked, but just that feeling of temporary.
Definitely. It's petrifying because you've not got a home, you've invested all your money, and you think, I can't even really pull out because I'll lose a big chunk of money that I've put in.
Karen's 5-year precarious wait led her to wonder if her project will ever get going. But in autumn, it does.
After like the longest wait ever, now it's like panic stations.
Self-building on plots beside her are her neighbours, William and Amanda and Chris. They decided to go in on the groundworks together, saving a whopping 30 grand between them.
It's been a lot of work between the 3 of us, and I think just up till last week we didn't even know the 3 of us would be taking part. William wasn't sure, and we still didn't even know it would be going ahead. So the fact that the 3 of us have actually all gone ahead at the same time is more unbelievable than the house starting.
Can you just check the levels over there as well? Just in front of where he dug there.
Their ground worker, Angus, has never seen anything like it.
I don't think I've ever had 3 clients side by side doing the same work at the same time. There are efficiencies to be made. For example, with taking spoil off-site, you can do the 3 plots in the one operation effectively.
3 plots, all with very different visions. Karen's is a mountain bothy. Amanda and Chris's a contemporary patterned brick and timber family home. And then there's William's.
I'm all grey.
You're all grey?
Inside and out. It's kind of battleship grey. So kind of anonymous.
Uh-huh.
In fact, really aiming to recreate a council house, you know, so that it doesn't look too flashy.
Eccentric and intriguing. William has lived around Glasgow all his life and visited this area since he was a boy. He worked in property, and now aged 73, he likes to tinker.
I retired just over 20 years ago. In my retirement, I've enjoyed myself by keeping busy. So usually fixing up cars or fixing houses. But like all humans, I'm fairly lazy. So you potter about doing something and then it tails off a bit.
Which is unfortunately what happened when he tried to renovate his first house just outside Glasgow in the 1970s.
It's at least 250 years old. The roof needed complete redoing. The walls actually got saturated with water.
It's a pretty huge job.
I suppose I could have got a lot more help professionally.
And how long did it take you then in total?
At the very end of 1978, I'd say by 1982, all the works were done. And then we started doing upstairs. My wife at the time was a bit impatient with it all. I'm not a very good project manager and I underestimated the work, so this was a...
Oh, so she was accepting 6 months?
It was a bone of contention.
No longer with his previous wife, and now remarried, William is building again, this time on the street. Williams spent $40,000 buying the plot and has 220 grand to spend on his building. He's opted for a kit-build system. He plans to build a traditional but highly insulated, future-proofed, comfortable home. First, factory-made timber panels will arrive on site and be slotted together over just a few days to form the walls, floors and roof. Blockwork will then be built up around the external walls, which will be rendered with traditional Scottish rough-cast mortar. Concrete tiles then complete the roof. Inside, the central hall will have traditional rooms branching off in all directions. On one side there'll be an office come bedroom with an ensuite shower room. On the other side, there'll be a spacious lounge connecting to an open-plan dining room and kitchen with a utility room attached. Another shower room can be accessed off the hallway. A timber staircase will lead up to a large landing, from which you'll access a central bathroom and linen closet and 4 bedrooms, one in each corner of the house. In spring, William's kit of pre-insulated timber panels arrives, is laid out, and then lifted into place.
Wee bit more. Whoa, that'll do you.
There is nothing for William to do but watch.
Down, get him down. Need to be quicker.
An interesting experience. Very impressed.
Give me everything you've got. Stunning.
It's quite well organised.
Yep, rope down.
I mean, the guys don't loaf about, they crack on with it. Make great TV.
Yes, this is why we are here. Speed is of the essence.
That is satisfying, I'll tell you.
The frame has been carefully made in a factory in controlled dry conditions. Hard work that can be undone out in the weather.
Beautiful. If we get a couple of wet days, then all of that good stuff that the factory sends us out can be compromised. Whoa, Gordon, that's good. It's good there. Really good with that wall. And we don't want to compromise the insulation with the weather, so everything about this system is about speed. So get it up, get it dried in as quickly as possible.
Building with ready insulated panels like this is always fast. But even so, William's house goes up in record time.
They finished with the crane in 1 day, which is quite an achievement because normally it would be 2 days. I'm very pleased with today's work.
Now comes the moment that William's been waiting for. The moment the frame company leaves, he can get in, get hands-on and drive the project to completion. Hopefully.
Word of Glasgow City's most unusual self-build scheme has captured the interest of local residents. People like Duncan, who are fascinated by what's happening.
I go for my walks in the morning, and one morning I'm passing and William was outside. Hi. And I got talking to him, and then he showed me around the house and I was quite impressed. So a couple of days after I offered my services.
Now, he and William, complete strangers up until this point, are laying insulation together.
We want to leave a space here.
Duncan used to be a manager at a shipyard. He's working with William for nothing.
I've been retired for about the last 3 years, so it's kind of gives me something to do as well. 155.
It's very nice of Duncan to volunteer his services.
I'll say. His insulation sculpting skills are second to none.
Yes, that looks very good.
2 weeks later, with Duncan's help, they're building out the stud walls and ceiling.
Just give up on that one. Well, Duncan's done quite a lot of this sort of thing. I mean, he says he hasn't, but I'm quite sure he has, because I know when we're doing things, he's slightly ahead of me, I would say.
Well, it's nice to have someone to work with as well.
Yes, and you bounce ideas off.
So does this satisfy your itch for DIY and tinkering?
Yes, it does. All the things from now on are more sort of DIY things. Plasterboarding, decorating, some of the plumbing, possibly, where you're not going to actually endanger yourself or other people.
Always good. Although, with Duncan to talk to, William is in no rush to finish.
Where's my piece of wood?
You don't see it, it's on the side.
This would keep me occupied for a year or so, out of harm's way.
So it's your hobby for a year?
It's a hobby, yes. Hobby stroke lifestyle. It's good to work. And Duncan would agree. Good to keep working, isn't it? Yeah.
It can be life-defining. William might not be in any rush to finish, but Karen is desperate to get going on hers. She needs to dig out the drains around the plot before the building goes up. But she can't, because William's scaffolding is on her land.
Why is he putting it up there?
Honestly, I don't have a clue. I don't know what he was doing.
That's my plot. I don't know if he knows that. Does he think it's just spare ground or something? I knew the scaffolding was going up in March, but I just didn't know it was going on my plot. It is quite stressful having to deal with everything that's going on without having to deal with other issues that aren't your own issues. It just adds to the stress, really.
I suppose everyone's concentrating on their house and they don't want to know about any other issues that might even be theirs.
Exactly. I think because we don't have a fence here, it's maybe been not clear where my plot begins, where their plot ends.
I think part of the idea of the street was that the residents were encouraged to work together and share resources. Do you think that's happened?
I think in some areas it has. I mean, we all did our groundworks together and that was really helpful because obviously the ground worker worked on all three plots together, so they were able to kind of split the cost. I mean, it's mostly been positive, but obviously it's stressful for everyone building and people probably get a bit caught up in their own build.
She needs to know when the scaffolding is coming down so she can get on.
So how long do you think for your render? You got to
another week.
And then do you paint it?
No, I'm not painting it at the moment.
Not painting it, just leaving it grey.
Yes.
Right, I better get going.
William's render is traditional Scottish stuff, called rough cast, a mix of stone chips, sand and cement.
The mixture is actually very important, so the ratio is 3-2-1, which means for every 3 portions of chips you put 2 portions of sand and 1 portion of cement. That needs to be the mix. If that's off, you could apply it and it would just go to the ground. It's extremely messy. In the next 20 minutes it'll take me to do this, I'll probably be covered head to toe.
One very long week later, William's scaffolding is down. The drains are dug, and Karen's project can finally start to rise.
It's a timber frame and the builder is actually building it on site, so we've not got a timber frame made in a factory.
Chris and Callum are making Karen's frame by hand. With the limited budget she has, Karen's paying them on a day rate to finish the project.
I feel like a lot of pressure because I am in charge of all the build. And I didn't know I would feel that much pressure. It's so massive and it's moving so quick and it's so much money. Because obviously if it comes off budget, then I won't be able to finish the house. So I think that's the big nagging pressure.
Money's not the only pressure. They're heading towards winter, and the weather's taken a turn for the much worse.
There's still a lot of places for the rain to come in. But the windows are ready to go in, I think, maybe in a week or so.
I can't believe it's gone up so quickly.
It's amazing. It feels like a mirage.
Is it really
It's
there?
literally just shot up so fast. The builders, the joiners are amazing.
It is a very striking form. I mean, it's quite elongated, isn't it? It's quite narrow and tall,
Yeah.
but you've still got the kind of agricultural form. And I think because it doesn't fill the plot, it is quite small compared to the size of the plot. There is that relationship between the landscape.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just filling it.
Yeah.
It kind of sits in it, and you know, you've got all of this to design, which is really interesting.
I'm hoping in the future I'll be able to get this a wee bit more green. I think the black works really nice if it's got a soft background.
Yes.
You know, a really rich green, natural against the kind of hard industrial cladding. I think that's what works together.
I can't wait to see it. Inside is shaping up nicely too.
Oh, it's so nice to be able to walk inside.
Yeah, something 3D.
So this is your living kitchen area?
So this is the kitchen round here.
Oh yeah, okay, so that's the window.
With an L.
sticking out.
And dining room table, hopefully. And then this is the living room. I think it'll give me my life back, because my life has been on hold for so many years. All my furniture's in storage. You're just living. It's really hard to make plans, because when you don't have a plan, when you don't have any dates, which is how it was for the last 5 years really, it's just been an unknown. And actually it just becomes like having a home, you know. I actually feel like I'm a bit upset about it. Yeah, I didn't actually realise I felt like that, but I think because I've not had a home for so long, it's actually feels quite strange. Yeah, the thought of having a home again.
Karen's love of the outdoors has taken her to the furthest reaches of Scotland. She's been inspired by old bothies and contemporary sheds, like these by the architect Alan Dixon, to build something small and beautiful for herself on the street. I've come to see for myself the extraordinary amount she's packing into her house. Downstairs will be the kitchen and living room, and the upstairs has been fine-tuned to make the best of the space she has.
This raised platform as opposed to that, now what's the logic there?
To give a bit of height to the living room.
Underneath.
Yeah.
But it's also it's a little bit like a performance space. Like
a stage.
A stage with a little auditorium, yeah. What's it going to serve, this platform?
So this is the main bedroom.
Okay.
The master bedroom.
And then your main bedroom then has access to the mezzanine.
The kind of mezzanine.
Nice. So a bit of a hideaway up there.
Two.
That's going to be a studio, is it? Is that the plan?
Yeah. That I wanted lots of light and a nice flow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like a feeling of space, even though there maybe isn't a large volume of space. And I think walking into here definitely creates that, because when you walk in here, there's still more to see.
Yeah,
So
exactly. You know, it's got all of the architectural excitement of the cabin. You know, the idea of timber and open views to the ridge, and it's less housey and a bit more shack-like, you know, which is lovely. But at the same time, it's giving you everything else.
It will, hopefully, provide all the space and function that she could ever need. I'd go so far as to say that this is a model home, in as much as most people tend to build too big. This is probably correct for Karen. This is, for her, just enough. And those two words are important. We should be building more just enough houses, just enough perfectly formed, small homes that have an adequate amount of space and storage, just enough in the way of architectural delight and wit. If you like, you can think of this as a Goldilocks house. You can think of William's house as eccentric. The build approach is strange, the design is curious, and the materials are unusual.
Stairs are made of hemlock, but I'm assured you won't get poisoned, you know, when you lick them.
Sorry? What?
We're going to try and go over that way. Just we need to try and get the stair inside of the door so we can turn it.
It's a three-person job to get them in, and Karen's loaned Chris, her builder, to help.
It's lovely. Does it look like it's going to fit?
They're too long for the space inside. With some artful gymnastics, Chris twists the staircase into place.
How's that? Is that looking, William?
You first, Chris, because you said it would be all right.
How are you getting on with the build?
The build is progressing, perhaps a bit slower than I would have liked, probably due to my inexperience. So I've ended up doing maybe more than I should have myself, but it's quite interesting. You know, it's not a great challenge, but it's quite satisfying to do it.
So you're getting enjoyment out of the process as well as...
I always did like doing things like this, so this is no different.
William's not relying on subcontractors to help him. But Karen is. She's paying thousands of pounds for her screed to be laid, only to find on the day that it's due to happen, there's a problem.
Concrete guys have been here since 8:30, but they can't start because the pipes for the underfloor heating are meant to be under pressure. It's my big fear, something wrong with the underfloor heating.
If it's not been tested or it's not pressurised and we pour concrete on top of it, then you have to rip all the concrete out again to try and find any little leaks. So you want to get that sorted before.
So Karen calls her engineer, who comes down to have a look.
See the ducts? Oh, here's just there, isn't it? I think it should be close. Okay. So we're up at just over 2 bar there.
And it's good news.
And that's the leak sorted. There's just a little air leak at the manifold valve. So I've been tightened up, system back up to 2 bar of pressure.
So not a big deal.
Not a big deal,
Phew.
and the guys can carry on.
Aye.
So that's us, we can get started again.
Nice. The concrete is now on its way. They're all set to pour. And then...
Saga number 2, the battery has died in the concrete mixer. So we need to get that machine running. He says it's never, ever, ever died, the battery.
They'll need to charge the battery from the concrete lorry, which has just arrived.
Oh, is that the concrete lorry? It is. Oh, God. Oh, my goodness, he's going to be like 2 millimetres to spare.
Yikes. Now they've just got to get the pump started.
My jump leads are coming in handy. Thanks, Dad.
With all the mechanical and plumbing problems fixed, the screed can finally be poured.
It's quite quick once they get going. Amazing how quick they level the concrete. It looks good. So I think by tomorrow it'll look more like a floor.
While the builders work on the house, Karen's keen to get the outside sorted. She's building a gabion wall at the end of her garden from wire baskets filled with rocks.
And the purpose of this is to stop this earth from going forward?
Yeah,
Just a retaining wall?
Yeah, because that's the canal up there. So you can see it's had a wee slide over Christmas just with all the rain. But also it's to create another platform because this was unusable space.
Oh, so you're hoping to use behind there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go, 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 go. It's just that middle bit. It's hard.
Did it?
Yo.
Right, okay, so in here?
So literally, yep, we can just chuck them in. Right.
2 people isn't enough for this sort of work. It demands an army. It's slow, but at least it's cost effective, reusing the rubbish from site.
Because there's just so much stuff kicking about the plot.
I mean, it just makes so much sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Reusing the rubble and then you've got a retaining wall.
Exactly. Because this costs so much money, it kills 2 birds with 1 stone.
Budget is tight.
Yeah.
But do you know how much you've got and how far you're going to get with that?
It's all a bit still vague. I've got a rough budget for what needs done from now.
Rough is risky. But Karen's clear on where she does want to spend her stretched remaining budget. On the important architectural features, like the roof, covered in zinc sheets, crimped together to create beautiful standing seams, under its own protective sheet.
It's quite stiff. Don't fall down that.
Fall into the hole. There you go. Oh, it's so satisfying, isn't it? Almost a green tinge to it, doesn't it? A softness to it.
Yeah. Yo!
Oh, look at that, amazing.
Nice. I think it's just a nice soft top on top of the house to maybe just soften the whole shape, not make it look too harsh.
And so it's interesting to see your roof compared to Joe and Ben's, but it's quite nice to have that variety and you can see that with
because
the
this was the
corrugated
roof that I was looking at, because it will match the cladding. Also, I quite like the idea of 2 contrasting materials.
Yeah, but the colour's the same.
Yeah.
The roof has cost £11,000, quite a chunk from her 150 grand budget. The problem is, she doesn't know how much more she's got left in the pot.
I've been meant to be doing this budget for ages, and I think it's just I don't want to do it. Because it kind of is what it is, isn't it? And like whether I do it or not, it's just like not going to change. So just like sticking my head in the sand.
But you're only spending what you've got, so there's not going to be a kind of massive bill at the end of the day that you can't pay. You're just working with what you've got.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. And the last thing that I'm going to put in is the kitchen, even though it's quite a big thing. So I'm going to see how far I am once the certain rooms are finished. I'm not going to try and finish all the rooms and then see what budget I have left. I think, right, I'll just wait till I can put it in.
So it's going to be an actual bothy.
It will be a real bothy. There will be no kitchen.
Where there are jobs that can be done without spending money, Karen is tackling them herself, with some help from Natasha, like painting her studio space at the top of the house.
So are you doing most of the painting yourself? Well, apart from whenever you have me to help.
Not today, I'm not. How are you for the next couple of weeks, Natasha?
Pay me by the hour, I'll be here.
So I am planning to do the painting myself, just save money on the budget because it's running pretty low. And I enjoy painting, but it's just time consuming because it's the whole house. If it was just a room, I could just take my time, but actually there is a fair amount of painting to be done, so you might have to take a few days off work, Natasha.
It's quite therapeutic though.
Yeah, you're doing a good job there, Natasha.
Thanks. Encouraging your workers.
Yes, exactly. Positive, keep morale up. I don't want you to leave.
How are you finding the time to do all this? Because you're still working full time.
Yeah.
I keep getting to points where I feel like I'm hitting a wall and I'm just so knackered. But actually, when I have people that come and help, it actually makes such a difference.
And when Karen needs an army to help, she calls on one. Friends and family come, in their droves.
Oh, actually, that's fine.
Filling the gabion baskets is a job that would have taken her months of work by herself.
I think it works better putting them on their side, the stones, than the face.
She's a very warm and kind person and would do anything for anyone, so that's why everybody's working together today to help her out and hopefully make a bit of an impact on getting the build further on.
I don't think that's really fitting.
It's stressful, a lot of things have gone on and she's just tackled it, and so quite determined to get to this point, really. And it's just gorgeous, and it's going to be fantastic with the doors going onto this space, and it's brilliant.
Oh, it's lovely.
Although whether Karen's budget can stretch to finishing the house remains to be seen. On this architecturally progressive street in Glasgow, there is one house that neither I nor Natasha can quite make complete sense of. Williams.
There you go.
Yeah.
What he politely describes as his sort of essay on Scottish council housing.
He's very open about these things, isn't he?
Good for him. I also like anybody who's non-conformist. Do you know what I mean? Who goes against the grain.
To be conformist is to be also non-conformist.
Well, in this case, it's highly non-conformist.
You could have built anything.
Yes.
I think there's something comforting about it.
Something willful and idiosyncratic.
Welcome to William's world of weird.
Hey, William.
Ah, hello.
Congratulations on, well, actually getting this far. In an age when you say to somebody, I'm building a house, they expect a sort of contemporary take, you know, a contemporary palette of materials, a kind of 21st century thing. And in a way, it's very refreshing to find something which isn't.
Yeah, that's what I must have been thinking of. Yes,
You must
yes.
be, yeah.
I think there are a lot of people that will relate to a house like this.
Yes, yes, one or two passers-by have said, we like your house, you know.
Yeah.
Probably just because it's familiar. And maybe scaled up from the average house. It's reasonably big.
And the rough cast render is very familiar treatment, isn't it?
It is. It's been going for quite a few centuries.
Yeah, exactly.
on castles.
While we're on the subject of outside treatments, I can see Duncan helping out on Amanda and Chris's cladding next door.
I've been dumped.
So he's abandoned you for a, do we call that an architecturally more kind of
something more stimulating.
progressive?
Yes.
He's moved on to those who need him. He's like the angel of the streets.
Yes. Let's go in the house, okay.
William's interpretation of council housing has taken a different direction inside.
Well, it's all decorated in here.
Spacious, elegant, and quite beautiful. Not at all what I was expecting.
It's quite luminous. It's lovely. It reminds me of a kind of Regency interiors, which were very minimal in a way, you know. Small cornices, modest in their decoration. Big flat fields of walls, which is what you've got.
Yes, yes.
Ceiling in, cornices throughout downstairs.
Yes, it's this sort of round cornice. I call this a bum.
What I didn't expect from here is that the room would be so elevated because you are so close to the street. So it just means that you've got this view out and you've got the trees and you're not necessarily noticing people passing by because what level is that?
More than a metre and a half perhaps. So yeah, that's quite private. The other room isn't because of course the pavement's going up.
Yeah.
So it definitely needs some curtains.
I would be disappointed if the house were completely finished, given that the making, not the finishing of it, was William's aim. Still, the bits that are complete are rather good.
Go upstairs now?
Up the Hemlock stairs?
Yes, Hemlock, very strong.
But not the poisonous variety.
No. This
is a tree.
This is the woody hemlock,
which is like a western red cedar, isn't it? It's a beautiful pink colour.
Yes, it's variation. So that's just what you get with a tree.
Nice, and a springy wood.
Yes, I think it makes a difference, and it gives a sense of space and room.
And welcome.
Yeah.
To
Okay.
the building as well.
Right. You're welcome to the bedroom.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Okay, great. And your rooms are quite modest, actually, then.
Yes.
You quite like that cellular arrangement of life, compartmentalising functions and rooms. Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you plan to then use this layout of this house as a means of organising your life, or are you just simply accommodating your existing life with this?
Just going with the existing life. There's no new life.
There's no intention to change.
You're made and you stick with it. So.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, I guess there comes a point in life where you know who you are and you know how you like to live.
You think you know who you are, yes. But at the end of the day, people don't change.
I'm not so sure. Take this house, for example. It might look stuck in the past on the outside, but inside it's evolved. It's modern. There are eco-features, triple glazing, airtightness, and mechanical ventilation and heat recovery. All the stuff of now. I'll leave it to Natasha to have the final word.
This house has been a bit of a DIY project for William. It's been more about the process rather than the end product. It may not look architecturally innovative from the outside, but it uses the latest technology to make a really energy efficient home. And that is something to really celebrate.
The greatest celebration, though, has to be reserved for Karen next door. She sold her house 5 years ago and put all the money she had into this project, living with friends and relatives to make it happen. It's still not finished. Lack of funds is stopping her from completing the outside, but she is closer than she's ever been.
It's such a striking form.
It's great, isn't it?
It's got a great silhouette against the landscape.
Yeah.
Bold.
It is. A little mountain hut.
Bothy.
Bothy, yeah, that's the word. I know that's the word that you keep on using. But it's fine. It's a fine thing. Go and see Karen. Hey.
Hey.
All right?
Bothys don't have sitting rooms like this, though. What a thing.
Wow, you've got sofa and chairs. I mean, you've got sort of a house.
Got half a house.
No kitchen yet?
No kitchen.
What do you really need in a house?
I've got a toilet.
Oh, well, that's good.
With a door.
That's more than most Bothys do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But it's nice to see areas getting finished, because then it gives a wee bit of hope.
It gives you a sense of what the room's going to be like, which you haven't really had before.
Definitely.
You're just
and I was
down.
sitting there the other day in my living room, and then the sun was coming in, and I thought, oh, that's lovely. And it's a nice green view into the trees. And
Yeah, well, it is, yeah, with a foreground of actually what looks like a model of the Highlands. I mean, you know, that
this
could be
has been carefully planned.
Karen had 150 grand to build her house. Most of that money is now gone, and the house is bound to cost more than planned.
So to get your bathroom in and to get your kitchen in, how much more money do you need?
I think it will end up coming in about 185.
Okay.
Constantly things pop up, like the screed round the block work. That was £500. That was just completely had been forgotten. There's like a fire barrier that goes behind the cladding. I think that's about £800. So there's like, they're big figures, and they're just like pop, 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 you know. It's just, for me, it feels like there's still quite a lot to do. Yeah. We're trying to figure out how to actually do it so that it's cost effective, because the prices are coming in so expensive.
Wow.
So I've got someone to make the cladding, but I've not got someone to put the cladding on.
Duncan. He'll be free when he's finished up the road.
But what is unfinished doesn't take away from the genuinely breathtaking architectural moments in the house. Step upstairs into the bedroom and up this beautifully crafted ladder into Karen's workshop.
Oh, look at this. It's such a little retreat.
Yeah,
I really love it. It's my favourite space in the house, I think.
Yeah. Because of the kind of slope of the ceiling, it almost invites you to sit down and work.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like you can't
Yeah,
party
not
up
a
here.
lot of moving about, and no room for anyone else. It's like,
And I think because all the rooms downstairs are quite exposed, aren't they? They're
Yes,
big windows,
exactly.
so you
Yeah.
feel like this really great connection with the outside, but you also feel like you're on show. Whereas here, you just
it's like a
feel-
hideaway. Yeah. But I think you're right in saying that, because people can't really see in. I think that's why it feels just like a nice space. It's not dark, but it's kind of hidden away.
Enclosed.
Yeah. No one knows I'm here.
I think it's lovely that these spaces all end in this. This is the kind of culmination point, this kind of cosy tower house at the top.
Yeah, the end.
You've not been living in your own place for so long now. You've not been able to have your own headspace as well as physical space because of the house. So this is, you know, must be a really interesting point in your life, really.
Yeah, I'm quite excited. It would be nice to go home and maybe work from home for a bit rather than just being stuck in work till late at night. A nice space to come home to. So I'm really looking forward to it.
I'm in awe of what Karen's achieved, what her house has delivered already, and what it promises to deliver. It is the product of a passionate, focused creativity and drive to be able to build something particular to her, something special that could only ever come from her imagination. That is the power of Karen's project. That is also the power of self-build.
I'd suggest that if every village, every town, every city in the UK had a self-built component, if there were streets like this everywhere, then we'd all feel more energized, more excited, more stimulated by what was happening in our built environment. And the individuals doing this would bring to our communities fantastic energy, a renewed sense of faith in what we built and how we live. Goodness me. I think our communities need that.
A self-build revolution has been sweeping the country.
The house looks exquisite.
What started as an experiment at Graven Hill, where plots of land were sold to aspiring self-builders by the council,
Right, slow to your left.
has caught the imagination of local authorities across the UK.
Gently, boys. That's it.
It's happening in York, where self-builders are being empowered to create the homes they've always wanted.
It's the first one.
Oh, I feel like I'm making history with you then.
It's happening in Scotland, where Glasgow City Council are piloting their own remarkable scheme in the city centre, which I'm following with my co-presenter, Natasha Huq.
Oh, look at this. It's such a little retreat.
Here, plucky self-builders have been given the chance to build one-off homes that reflect who they are.
My small budget has made me push my design limits more.
This time, in Glasgow, we're following Amanda and Chris, who've designed their home themselves.
And do you have any experience?
Point, squeeze and push.
We're also revisiting Joanna and Ben, who had to fight through a sea of misfortune to build their American ranch home.
I had a phone call and he said, your caravan's not here. Just singed down to the ground.
Oh my God.
Now the ranch is finished, they're trying out different things with it.
A big part of the design of the house was fill the house with musicians and good times.
I feel like I can do it. Fantastic.
Planning and strategy officers Amanda and Chris have 2 children, and with a third on the way, they want to upsize.
When we looked at houses, we never found anything that was going to give us exactly what we wanted.
The market doesn't provide the kind of home that we want, and if it did, then we couldn't afford it.
I think if you are looking at a new build, it's something that is a bit more energy efficient and that's a bit better insulated. The bedrooms tend to be fairly small, the living spaces tend to be fairly small.
They're rather desperate to move. They're currently in a 2-bed house an hour away from Glasgow city centre.
We are really bursting at the seams.
I think up until I fell pregnant, it was getting cramped. You know, normally with a new baby coming along, you would be decorating a nursery. We don't have a room to decorate as a nursery. So basically until the house is built, this baby's not going to have like a nursery.
So, they've taken advantage of the opportunity offered by Glasgow City Council to buy land they can self-build on.
So what's your vision for the house?
It has to be sustainable, has to be affordable. So we want to have obviously our own bedrooms, a bit of open plan space downstairs, but also some kind of discrete space for playroom and office where the kids can go and play and we can go and work.
And have you had any help with the design, or have you done it yourselves?
No, it's all DIY other than just digging ourselves through magazines and watching old episodes of Grand Designs and the like to see what we might like and give us a wee bit of influence and inspiration.
And do you have any background in design, or are you just
Not
making
really.
it up as you go along?
A bit of making up as we go along. I've got an undergrad degree in architecture.
I'm by no means a designer, but as Amanda says, I like to think I can do it. So.
And what's it like working together?
No comment.
Well, we're still talking to each other most days, but we've had a few differences of opinion along the way.
I think actually in terms of design and layout, it's probably I've been driving most of that, and then Amanda's a bit more concerned with the aesthetics, how it'll look and at the time.
I think there's been occasions where you've suggested something or drawn something up, and then I've came in with the practicalities of that, and we've changed things about a bit.
Aye.
There's been quite a few occasions where that's happened, where your ideas maybe not been fully thought
out.
So Chris
through.
is the designer and Amanda's the client then?
That's kind of how it's worked. So yep. So we went through and got with different ideas. So I wasn't coming up with anything particularly wacky. Well, she didn't like my green fish scales for cladding.
Oh no. Oh, that was. Oh, yeah. No, I didn't.
Chris isn't joking. Green fish scales may have been a step too far, even for this avant-garde street. The land cost £42,000, and with a project budget of just 250 grand, Amanda and Chris want to use SIPs, structural insulated panels, to achieve their vision. It'll give them a strong and thermally efficient envelope on a budget. First, a precast block and beam floor will be craned in, making an insulated level base. The SIPs kit will then arrive on the back of a lorry, and over the course of 2 weeks, a 2-storey frame will go up. The house will then be clad with a combination of intriguingly fired bricks and timber. Inside, an entrance will lead to an open-plan living room and kitchen, and on the other side there'll be a playroom, downstairs bedroom, and a utility and shower room. Upstairs, there'll be 3 kids' bedrooms and a family bathroom. Across a large landing, you'll find the main bedroom, with a dressing room and ensuite, as well as a balcony overlooking the garden below. In late summer, they start excavating their plot for the foundations. They're sharing the cost with their neighbours.
Our budget was relatively tight, so we had to pool our resources to get things moving.
Getting things moving is a priority. Their new baby has arrived.
Our new baby's not going to have his own room until the house is built. Having a third child at home, we're a bit tight for space now. With wanting the house built, you know, really is as kind of quickly as possible.
Speed is of the essence. On a freezing cold autumn day, the foundations are dug. Amanda and Chris need to lay the concrete slab on which the house will sit. But pouring concrete in these cold conditions is an absolute no-no.
To make concrete, you need sand, cement and aggregate. You mix it with water and then let it cure. The trouble is, if you let it cure when the temperatures are too low, say under 3 degrees, then it's prone to frost damage, and that makes it really weak and brittle. You wouldn't want to build your house on that.
So, Chris and Amanda have come up with an ingenious solution. They're having their slab made off-site, in a factory. It is cast in pieces that'll be put together in situ, like a jigsaw.
On your project, there'll be in the region of 60 individual pieces. After the production today, these will be lifted and taken away to the storage area.
It's a clever, unconventional solution, uniquely suited to building in the chilly Scottish climate.
This type of slab's not been used in a sort of small domestic setting before, but it's been developed more sort of mass social housing projects, kind of much larger projects than ours.
It's exciting to see what we're getting.
It's just exciting to see something happen.
Two months later, a team arrives on site to piece together the unusual jigsaw.
This can come out that way a wee bit.
It's been made to fit perfectly.
Fairly excited, fairly concerned. If there's any measurements are out, then it's just how we deal with that on site and find a solution to it.
Some pieces slide together precisely, with just millimetres to spare. Others don't, and need filling with a concrete mix by a man with a broom.
No, I'm pleased. All fits, which is the main worry. All fits, looks level, so it's good.
Now they have a smooth, complete slab. The timber frame company is ready to start producing the frame. But a week goes by, then months with nothing happening on site. In Scotland, building regulations require council approval in the form of a building warrant before you can start building. And Chris and Amanda still don't have one.
3, good boy. I think we really need just to see something happening on site. It's just been a bit disheartening at times, I think. We keep setting deadlines and then that gets shifted and shifted and shifted again.
It's painful, not least because thanks to the continuously increasing material prices in the construction industry, every week they wait risks pushing up the cost of the project.
In Scotland, obviously, you can't start works until you've gotten the building warrant, so you're completely held by that.
It was just really pernickety small things.
It was literally just a lot of very small issues, and then there would be times where it would say, oh, I don't have that document, but it had been uploaded previously. I particularly struggle at times with feeling like we're not making any progress and feeling like nothing's happening.
It was probably, from our perspective, a wee bit of naivety maybe about the process.
Right, OK.
I don't think Chris and Amanda are naive, but rather brave for trying to build something exciting.
What colour would you like? Blue. Blue?
The process of obtaining a building warrant can be straightforward, or lengthy and complex depending on the detail required.
Uh-oh.
I just hope they don't have to wait too much longer. Chris and Amanda's small home is feeling smaller by the day.
We outgrew this house like a long time ago. You know, it's constantly moving stuff around to make space. We're working from home, so the dining table is office. And quite often, Chris and I will be here, both working. So we're kind of like shoving each other's laptops out the road and stuff. You know, we're just trying to muddle through as best we can. And it's fine if you're just sending emails, but then when you're maybe on a call, you have a tiny wee face popping up beside you. That's not ideal. It's a lot.
They've waited 7 months for their building warrant, the building regs document you need in Scotland before you can start building. But now it's finally been signed off and it's come through.
Good morning, good to see you. Yeah, thanks for coming down. This is it. Yes, this is where 2D turns into 3D.
So, they can start.
I feel as though I've been saying for so long, once we get the kit up, and now I'm like, next week we are actually getting the kit up. So I think now, yeah, it's definitely starting to feel real.
Giant sandwiches of sterling board with a toasty foam filling are cut to size and stacked to make the structural walls and roof of the house. Once on site, they're lifted into position by hand. Over the following 2 weeks, the house shoots up. Until the big day comes to lift the roof in the driving rain.
Lots of rain, but hopefully we can get through it.
Well, I hope so. The precisely engineered roof panels are getting soaked sat on site. Quick as they can, they get lifting. But the very last one doesn't fit. The water appears to have warped it.
We're a wee bit tight to get finished before the crane's off site and the light fades. It's important to get in today because it's an extra £1,000 if they don't.
The pressure is on to get the roof panels in place quickly. When it comes to solving tolerance issues, there's nothing mightier than a mallet, the big one. And just as the light disappears, the last panel slots in.
The boys managed to get the job done, fortunately. So a wee sense of relief that we don't need to go without a bathroom or a kitchen to pay for it to come back out again tomorrow. So that's always good.
With the lid now on, our first-time designers Chris and Amanda have an opportunity to study their creation.
How does it feel now you can see it physically? Is it what you expected? Do you think you're going to change anything?
Don't think we've made any catastrophic errors, hopefully, basically.
Is there anything particular that you're quite proud of? You know, for example, the porch parts?
Yeah.
So we thought we'd basically soften the entrance up a little bit, particularly because it's the first house in the street. Add a little bit of visual interest. We'll change the material there as well, so it's going to be timber cladding rather than brick. But also, given that it's a fairly wet climate we live in, and when you're coming out with your car, when you're fiddling for your keys, you probably want to be under cover and get protected from the elements.
So instead of adding a porch on the outside, what you've done is cut a corner of the building, which signifies the entrance, but it also gives you this porch.
The thought and attention to detail that Chris and Amanda have given their design is impressive, as is their ambition for maxing out their living space inside.
So this is your hall?
Yes.
Oh, it's massive. It's great. It's like another room.
Yeah. We're going from a 2-bedroom ex-council house to ginormous
mansion. So now that the shell is up, who's going to kind of finish the rest of the work? You going to do some yourself?
As much as we can. A lot of the stuff's fairly unskilled.
Was that a budgetary reason, or is it because you want to just get stuck in?
A bit of both, but probably mostly budgetary.
Sometimes we just kind of grudge paying someone to do something that we could do ourselves.
So we'll do as much of that as we can. So things like, framing plasterboard and putting up your stud walls and the like, it's DIY-able, certainly.
And do you have any experience of that?
Oh dear, that sounds ominous. The first big job is drilling in the roof timber battens.
Now, how far in do you want to start it?
300.
Chris has his dad, Tom, on site to help him. He's not a builder, but has extensive DIY experience.
This will be the first project with Chris. Chris would not naturally be your building partner. Point, squeeze and push. Oh. With the nail gun, we'll make sure that he's pointing the nail gun in the right direction before we pull the trigger.
Pull the trigger? Where's the trigger?
Under your right finger.
Press it in.
A week later, Chris has taken to the inside to develop his mastery of the nail gun as he puts up stud walls. They seem huge.
Quite dramatic.
It is quite dramatic.
Yeah.
But I don't think when you're in any of the rooms, they don't feel that big lengthwise.
Plan-wise, footprint-wise.
Yeah, but in height, they feel enormous.
Chris and his dad have been doing the work with help from Amanda's dad, Dave, another enthusiastic DIYer who's also joined the crew.
All on site doing something quite stressful. Interesting dynamics.
I'm very glad that we have my dad and Chris's dad because they are both very hands-on and know what they're doing.
Are they?
And Chris is maybe not.
He's learning.
He's learning, but his work's not always that perfect. They're both just very
practical?
Yeah. Chris doesn't really get that gene.
Chris is more the master planner and project manager, organising schedules, while the two dads enjoy getting their hands dirty. A month later, Tom and Dave have started wiring.
Who's in charge?
David.
Who's the grafter?
Me.
You. So tell me something, like two dads, right? Two families. One house is a bit like a Shakespearean play. But I'm wondering how you've worked out between you what your kind of contribution is.
We start in the morning. We have a, what are we going to do? We ask Chris and Amanda, and then we do the opposite, because that tends to be the right thing to do. One goes up a ladder and starts drilling holes or screwing things to the wall, and then we swap over. We do not have a plan.
Have you done much building?
Lots of sort of decking and little sheds and things like that, but not building a house.
What about you, David?
A lot of DIY. We did our own extension about 5 years ago now.
Yeah, and in terms of delivering quality, are there any complaints back from management or the client?
There was a lot of complaints that I was using not enough tape, so I just stopped doing it. You tape and fill, I'll just stand and watch.
So I've been thinking a little bit about love and caring and intergenerational support as exemplified here on this big family project. And it seems to me it is a bit of a one-way street. As parents, of course, we care for our children, we nurture them when they are small. And this is something that Chris and Amanda are really aware of. And then they grow up and become teenagers and, well, we have to suffer the abuse they throw back at us, but we also have to be their taxi drivers at the same time. And then we find ourselves helping them and supporting them and paying their way through university, perhaps, and out into the world. And then there comes a point where we think, oh, they're on their own, they've taken flight. They are independent, at which point, clearly, they turn around to us and say, can you build my house for me?
Chris and Amanda's house sits alongside an array of wildly different houses. There's an American ranch, a mountain-style hut, and an eccentric take on council housing. Architectural diversity in town planning can be a powerful thing. It builds identity, place, and community. It's a lesson learned from one of the greatest planned villages in the UK. Port Sunlight near Liverpool, built in 1888. But there is no mishmash of modern here. The mishmash is all historic.
This is Mrs. Tiggy Winkle's suburb, isn't it? It's all of a piece. So whether your taste is for black and white Tudor Beetham, or whirligig Jacobean, or some ridiculous Dutch gable style, whatever your taste in 16th century architecture, it can be met here at Port Sunlight.
More than 30 different architects designed dozens of different historical styles of house. The mastermind was Lord Lever, who built it for the workers in the soap factory he owned. Heather Alcock is the Heritage Conservation Officer here and an expert on the place's history.
What he wanted was a loyal, healthy, and productive workforce. But what Lever did was he married sort of this picturesque architecture that we have with landscape and sanitary housing. So he put that all into one space at a really low housing density.
I presume the alternative to living in a 2- to 3-bedroom house in this Eden would be some hovel in a really grimy back street with access to no public realm at all.
Exactly. There was a study done by Lord George in 1909 that compared life expectancy, birth rate, survival rate, education, overall well-being between Liverpool and Port Sunlight, and Port Sunlight came out top trumps. Just the experiment worked. So here, the vision of what home is was given to people, and they respected it and they treated it with care because, and this is a personal opinion, because it was beautiful. And he surrounded them with beauty as a way of moralizing people, as a way of transforming outlooks and attitudes. And I think for creating community, perhaps it worked.
Although it's important to remember this place was built to service Lever's soap business.
It's very, very much as it was in the days of Lever. It was designed to impress. Visitors would be brought, customers, clients, distributors would be brought to admire these houses, which from the front at least were really beautifully built, and yet at the back, look at them. Some of the grandest houses turn out to be 1 room deep, 2-bedroom homes. So this is a statement as much as it is an aspiration for people. It's a marketing exercise as much as it's an exercise in a model town. But in a way, you accept that because there's a sort of balance. The commercial interests were satisfied, and actually the social interests have also been satisfied here. The residents came here and lived here because it was better, simply better than anything they'd experienced. So they put up with having to put on a show for the potential guests. Why not? Why not mow your lawns and trim your hedges and paint the front of your house so that other people could admire it? Because it's part of what we all do in the communities we all live in.
However, it's not trimmed hedges or manicured lawns that put on the show for passers-by on the street in Glasgow. It is modern diversity in the creative use of materials. In Chris and Amanda's case, there's fired brick.
What's called a feather just on the face there, and as you can see there, the sort of burn mark on the face is always facing to the right hand side, so it gives it that kind of patterned effect.
Somehow set against this great stone buttress to the canal, you have a masonry building. Although it's not really masonry, it's masonry skinned.
Yeah.
It's part masonry skin, so it's part red brick, which is a kind of local vernacular in this part of Glasgow.
Yeah.
And there's a wee kind of nod, as you say, to the stonework. There's a wee hint of kind of burnt end to it that looks a lot similar to the stone wall of the canal.
Yeah. I do like the way on that window there, on the left-hand side, you've got the dark edges into the window, into the reveal. And on the right-hand side, they're clean, you know. They're almost as though the bricks are kind of speeding away, you know.
Yeah, then there's odd ones that are just standard red.
But that's all fine and good.
Yeah.
If I narrow my eyes, it's almost like a checkerboard pattern, you know. You just want to almost enjoy that. It's like looking at a piece of tweed or a piece of fabric, you know, that kind of woven quality running through.
Chris and Amanda are also facing the outside of their home in timber. The big challenge is working out the junctions where the two materials will meet.
Because there's not a turn around the corner, as you can see, it's fairly unappealing.
The trades have sort of decided for them.
In terms of the aesthetics, the brick which protrudes, we've got the back of the face in brick that's not been returned round the corner, so it's fairly unattractive.
It's not the bricky's fault, though.
I think these are just the kind of conversations that you probably end up having when you don't have an architect and you don't have someone planning out those more minute details.
But we hadn't thought about that until the brick is finished.
They'll need to resolve important details like this. Theirs is the first you see in this row of houses. It is the gateway building here. So there's pressure to get it right.
As a self-builder, it is highly likely that you're going to build something unusual, outlandish, idiosyncratic, perhaps. And the thing is, that is always going to attract judgment, isn't it? From friends and neighbours and strangers, passers-by even. But, of course, the harshest critic of all is always going to be you, which is why so many self-builders obsess about the tiniest detail.
Not just among the self-builds in Glasgow either. At Graven Hill, the UK's largest self-build experiment, intensive focus on the details has been taken to an extreme by some of the self-builders. When John and Julia finished their triangular home, they made a triangular garden.
It's Triangle Manor. I mean, look at it's Triangle Garden. It's, I love these shapes. I mean, I'm guessing it's all about the geometry of the site.
Yes.
That wall.
He's
that
the
wall.
geometry, I'm the planting.
Yeah, yeah.
I think we should have a bed here, and he makes it
She was sort of expecting a round one, and I thought...
Let me ask you, are the proportions of that triangle, are they identical to the proportions of the plot or the building?
No, there was...
I'm so relieved to hear that.
Even when a house has been finished to the obsessive satisfaction of its builder-owner, there are those who never stop working. Terry and Olwen were one of the first 10 pioneers to build at Graven Hill.
The boss has asked me to put a balustrade up on our mezzanine in our bedroom. Having finished doing this build, I got a bit frustrated. Just having things to do gives me a purpose to get up in the morning and get going. I need a project to keep me sane. It's given me a new lease of life. I just feel more active.
Every self-builder the UK over, whether at Graven Hill or in Glasgow, knows too well that the experience of building is all-consuming.
Because you're just ripping it to bits.
What do you want to do?
I wanted to cut a wee section when it was a wee back. If we're not at site, we're ordering stuff for site, or at the moment we're like planning our kitchen, we're picking flooring, even if we're not actually working on site. And then we're also trying to both work full time, and we're also trying to make sure the kids are still got normality. I mean, it is a lot, it's just generally a lot.
The pressure is mounting too. Both sets of parents have gone on holiday with acres of cladding still to do.
I think this house, nobody quite grasps the scale of it, and the cladding has taken probably twice as long as what we thought. I think if we were ever building again with timber cladding, we would line the windows up, because that's the issue. Like when we've got windows and then windows above, but they don't line up. So you need to fix the spacing.
But there are some pluses to taking on more of the work themselves.
I know how to use a drill and a nail gun now, which helps when you're building a house.
Yeah. My dad would never have let me use a power tool, pretty much. If ever I wanted a shelf put up, he would come and do it for me. But now I'm allowed to use a nail gun and I'm allowed to use a circular saw by myself. feel like I've reached maturity.
I think that self-build is a really, really powerful tool for self-development. Because every day on a building site, there are all kinds of situations to confront, all kinds of challenges to overcome. And on the way through, you're learning new skills. And it doesn't matter how experienced you are, there's always new stuff to learn, especially when you are on your own, because when you are trying to do all this by yourself, it is in those moments that you discover what you can truly achieve. I could really use a pencil sharpener.
For 3 years, Chris and Amanda and their parents have been working hard on their self-designed and self-built home. But there's been added pressure in that theirs is the first house in this remarkable, architecturally progressive street.
It's so good to see the scaffolding down, I have to say.
Yeah, but these pieces of timber, I think,
Yeah.
work really well because it's a big house, but that
Yeah, no,
breaks
you're
up
right.
the mass.
Yeah. They had great fun with it. I mean, it's really considered and it's joyful. And planners are, you know, in their hearts, I suspect, creative people, but they're just never normally allowed to express much of that. And here, yeah, they've really let go.
They've done the street proud. All the tricky details on the building, where the timber meets the brick, have been resolved beautifully. And thanks to the work they've done themselves, they've stayed on budget. It has become that eye-catching gateway building.
Good to see you. It's lovely. These bricks have been burnt at one end.
Yeah.
Hence the drift of colour across them is, I think, just brilliant. It just lifts the pattern. It's almost like a light and shade effect, you know, across them. I've only ever seen them with the scaffolding in place, so it's really effective.
There's quite a lot of brick, kind of uniform brick, and we thought just to add a wee bit of visual interest.
Yeah.
Let's break it up a little bit. So we quite like it.
But what's lovely is you end up with a corner which is entirely red and a corner which is almost entirely grey.
Yeah.
You know? It's like the little feather ends are chasing each other around the building.
The inside is still a work in progress. The vastness of the house and small number of people working on it means there's still a way to go. But the outside is where the real magic is for me anyway.
It's amazing. It's so charming.
You know, I don't mind the windows not lining up. I don't think they have to. I think actually the asymmetries makes it interesting.
The architect in you thinks it looks good, then great.
I'm drawn to the label detail over the top of the windows because every board's been chamfered to sit on top of that, and that just to overthrow the water a bit. And I just think that's really delightful. That it's crafted, you know.
It's really been lovingly done. In hindsight, there must be a point where you can reflect and say, you know, self-development, self-growth. You know, there's so much that you've learned.
I think there will be a moment, and I think hopefully there will be a moment for Chris where he realises where he realises what we have achieved. And I think, I really hope that you do realise that. And I think you will. But just now, sometimes you're just so off the cuff of, oh, it's fine, and it's all right, and it's like, it's not all right. It is amazing.
That's nice, it's good.
See what I mean?
Yes.
Oh, honestly.
Cannot think about that. Just get it done.
Oh, no, there's no emotion. There's no.
Chris and Amanda couldn't be more different as people. And maybe that's a compelling reason why this building is so good.
So I've been trying to make sense of the dual aspect of this building, the fact that it seems to present two different personalities, to the front and to the back. And I think I'm right in saying the front of it, facing the street, being slightly rawer, a little bit more robust, harder perhaps, and impenetrable. I think that reflects the personality of Chris. Whereas the back, that's Amanda. This soft arrangement, this playful arrangement of windows and materials kind of hints at something in her character, I think. We're so not used to that in our society. We're so not used to being able to somehow identify character and personalities in buildings that the idea seems almost alien, doesn't it? But why not do it? Those personalities represent the delight of what architecture can provide, the joy.
Another great building on this street that embodies those values of personality and joy is Joanna and Ben's at the opposite end.
How are you? Good to see you. Good to see you.
Nice to see you again.
And you.
Welcome back.
Hey, thank you so much. Thank you. I love your knocker. It's ironic, isn't it? That's what it is.
Of course.
Yeah.
It all makes sense when we get the horse outside, though.
Of course.
Inside, the ranch has evolved.
Welcome, welcome.
Thank you. Well, this is new down here, isn't it? You've made benches.
Some storage benches, yeah.
But we were distinctly lacking in storage, so this is awesome.
And you've got a guest room down here as well now, by the looks of it. Yeah, lovely.
And wonderfully eccentric, a gymnastic vaulting horse as a bedside table hints at what is to come in the main living space, which is a remarkable riot of oversized pots, greenery, and eclectic furnishings.
Done a little bit more work on the kitchen.
Nice. This is lovely. Is this stained or is this burnt?
So this is all burnt stuff, burnt timber.
Burnt, what is it? Whoops, sorry, hang on. That's it's on wheels.
I like to have a dynamic kitchen.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there's an island unit that's suffering from continental drift. Yeah, it's terrific. I love the sort of elemental nature of this, though. The fact you've got this timber building, timber kitchen. The treatments are all different, you know. And they're all kind of quite rough, you know, brutal. Nothing is too refined.
Absolutely. It gets character as it gets aged. If the material quality is interesting, then the knocks just kind of add to it.
Yeah.
Like with this kitchen island, my joke is it's not a kitchen island, it's a sketch of a kitchen island.
Yeah, this was the sketch.
Because that's leftover floor joist.
Really?
Yeah. So that's just normal 16 timber. It's also leftover reject timber from the frame, which is just lying in the yard.
Yeah, and I really like this little adapted coat hook.
Yes.
Because every single tea towel holder I've ever seen is made from plastic and breaks, and it's stupid.
Yes.
And this is intelligent. If there's an idea I'm going to take away from your house and reuse, it's that. It's brilliant.
There are some ideas that I won't take away, though.
The other night, I ran a life modelling workshop here. So that was 16 people. And it's people that want to learn how to be life models for artists. So I'm going to just show you a video from the other night.
Okay.
Photograph from the other night.
What? No, I shouldn't be looking at this. This is naked people. Oh, I'm just going to zoom in on that. Wow, okay.
I mean,
There is actually a naked man hanging from the rings as well. Okay. That looks just like
not the homeowner.
Yeah, kind of naturist convention in the Midwest somewhere. You know, when it's full of people doing a life drawing class and you just come back from work and you just think, oh, I just want to shower and just want to have a beer.
Well, there's the porch. That's where I was the other night when all the naked people were inside. I was on the porch having a beer.
Yeah, it's remarkable to think that the building that you've constructed can happily contain and look after all these activities and promote them.
Including circus skills. It's impossible to resist being drawn into all the oddness this house has to offer.
Can I have a go?
Oh, no.
Is it safe?
Good question.
Oh! Bloody hell.
It's impressive.
I was just showing off.
Yeah.
I now need to sit down in the shade. Oh.
This building can accommodate anything. Working from home has never been so joyful. Joanna's put her desk on the mezzanine, looking out over the glorious ground floor and beyond. While, in a moment, the kitchen can transform into a roller disco. The greatest change here, though, is the garden. What was previously a muddy pit is now this.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Here's to you. Here's to your street. Here's to your house and your life. Barbecue area. And roses over an arch. Whose romantic idea was that?
That's me, yep. It's a cottage garden.
And the process is the fun part. You've been looking after the roses. We've found the water lilies in the canal, like kind of foraging to build.
They're from the canal. How wonderful.
And that's the fun part. I think it would be really lovely to see the neighbours kind of grow in this space as well, because we've been here feel like we've been here quite a long time now, since the caravan in 2019. It'd be nice to see other people.
Yeah, once they're done with the sort of intensity of the self-build process, where it's a singular focus of there's so many problems to solve that you've got your blinkers on. There's a little bit more openness, I think, once the real scary thing is over.
I guess that's the exciting part, to kind of, the community is forming now.
Yeah.
Individually, these homes are extraordinary. Collectively, they will turn what was a patch of unloved industrial wasteland into a vibrant street that is independent, diverse, unique.
So there is a view in planning and architecture about placemaking, that if you want to make somewhere really rich and exciting, where people really want to live and engage and form a proper community, you do so with consultants, and you kind of, rather like making organic soup in a factory, you engineer it with bicycle clubs and beehives and orchards and wildflower meadows, and it does work, and that is a really, really considered and valid approach. But there is a more authentic route, I think, which is this. I mean, you give 6 households a scrap of land and you say, build your own homes. Do it with passion, build your own idiosyncratic mix of what you want, where you want to live, and in doing that, well, you get something really valid. From that springs an absolutely shared desire to look after what you own. The chickens may come of their own volition, as may the community orchard. That's really authentic. That is proper, homemade, organic minestrone.